you all made it to this meeting, which means you've probably logged into the new site for the first time. So what I'm going to share with you is just some of the new features. All right, so if you haven't yet, which I believe you all have, you have to reset your password to get access to the new site, and there are some instructions here at the bottom. You just click Forgot Password, enter your email, and then you get a link to reset your password and log in. So when you're logged in for the first time to the new site, you'll notice that we have upgraded the dashboard, and this is the first spot that you land. Up here, you have quick links to all of the new items. We've added a My Events section. This is where you can see your event history and what's upcoming, and you can also download invoices for events that's applicable for. So if you registered for Summit, that would be applicable. Lawyer and professional directory, I will go through a little more thoroughly, but this is for members only, and this is all of our users on the website that are part of a WLG member firm. And then discussion boards, we're working on rolling that out in the next couple of weeks, but previously you used to be able to email a group from the group page. We now have discussion boards where you can start a thread in a chat with your group members for the groups that you are a part of. So in the bottom section here, upcoming group events, this is all tailored to the groups and committees that you are a part of. So you will see all of the upcoming events. And if you're registered, this actually says registered instead of register. I try not to register myself for all of the events. And it is a quick way to go to that event and start registration for it. You will start to see discussion posts popping up here as we start to roll out the discussion board. And then down here, you can see the groups and committees that you're currently a part of. And if you click edit, this will take you to your profile preferences where you can modify information and add any groups or committees you want to join. Moving on to the lawyer professional directory, because I feel like this is a really big upgrade for us and members have asked for it for a while. On this side here, you see directory, and this is from the drop down right above your name. This member directory is a comprehensive look at all of those members in our database that are part of a firm, and my computer is moving very slowly this morning. One day of the load. Okay, there we go. So there's tons of filter options here. This is filtered by first name. So if you start by A, you're going to start filtering by everyone with the letter A in our system. You can search by firm. You can search by designation, whether they are a lawyer or a professional in our system. You can search by their primary practice areas that they input to their profile. So we're asking lawyers to input their primary practice areas. This isn't necessarily the World Law Group practice areas. This is related to them specifically. You search by that. You could also search by our contact type. So if you want to see a full listing of all WLG key contacts, here's where you can do that very easily. So we can see all key contacts. And then you could also do group or committee. So if you want to know everyone that is in the dispute resolution group and is also a key contact, that is easy to filter by. Then you can also do by country. These are related to the WLG jurisdictions. So this is anybody within, let's say, USA, Alaska, that's in our system in that jurisdiction, you could filter by. Or you could simply search. I like to search for Luke because he has a lot of event history, but I have to clear these filters because he's not going to appear. And there's Luke, using your profile as an example because you have a lot of event history on here. So when you click into someone's profile card, you get all of their information, the groups that Luke is a part of, the other areas that he's interested in. When and if he adds external links, he could add his LinkedIn profile here. So you could go ahead and add him on LinkedIn. You see his office location, his firm, his phone number, could easily email him. You can also see what he's going to be attending. So here's what he is going to attend today, sanctions at 10 a.m. Obviously BDC should be on there, and I think there it is. Nope, it's in here somewhere. it's probably going to pop up soon. But this is for everyone's profile that you navigate to. You're able to see your upcoming previous attendance. And then discussion boards I'll touch on quickly, but we have not yet done any posts here. We're going to start doing some welcome posts. There's just a few more controls that we're kind of waiting on from our web developer. But you will see all the discussion boards that you are a part of. When you join a group, you're automatically added to this discussion board, but you do have the option to unsubscribe yourself if you don't want to receive daily communications from your fellow colleagues. So that is a quick overview of some of the new features, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I think you all have my email, but I will drop it in the chat again. Feel free to message me if you have any problems getting into the website or have any questions about some of the new features.
Thanks, Tori. All I can say is congratulations. I mean, I think that it's incredible how the website looks now, and we're going to enjoy it.
Great.
I know that you've worked hard on that. All the WLG Group team worked hard on the new website.
Yes, thank you. It's been a journey.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Tori. I did get an email out. We got a couple more folks who joined us. So Juan Manuel, why don't we hand it over to you and Maria?
Okay. Sure. We can. Do you mind, Maria, to start to share do you mind to allow us to share the screen? Okay. Okay, here we are. Let me just tell you that this is a I would say a tool that we have that it's clearly more deep than a business development instrument or whatever you may call. We certainly believe that that is a tremendous tool for several aspects within a firm, and this is the reason why we decided to share with our colleagues of you. Net Promoter Score is, as it said, is the way we choose in the firm to measure the loyalty level of our clients. That is how many of them are our fans, and this is why this figure, I mean, is you have a herd in each one of the figures that we have, and also you have also in one of them a minor within a bigger figure, because the exercise that we had been made in the last, I don't know, Maria Eugenia, but almost 9 years, right? It's yes. Kind of is dynamic, and we will explain a little bit how dynamic it is and how it challenges it is for us. This is probably for someone that is not aware of the tool, may sound like something very, very simple, and in a way it is. And in a way, it is very simple. But the questions that we are making to our clients each by year, year by year, it's very challenging for us. We ask our clients every year in a base, it's about 900 or something like that, yes, of our main contacts, which are the general managers of the company, general counsels of the company, but also with a software that we have, we can produce a list of the people, not necessarily at the high levels of the company, that that have a lot of interaction with our firm at different levels, not necessarily with partners. It may be juniors, paralegal, or even administrative staffs. So we produce that list. It's a list of, as I said, 800 more or less, which for Uruguay is a huge amount of main contacts. And we ask them on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is very unlikely and 10 is very likely, would you recommend Guyen Regules to a colleague or a friend? This sounds, I know for your face, sounds like, oh, that's easy. I can do that. I can do that. It's not a problem. I can do that, and I can make that. Well, the problems arise when you start to receive questions and answers. Sorry. So next, in the next one, what we try to understand, the measure is the trust, how much trust we create with them, the value that we add in our service, and which is the action that we need to do quickly and rapidly in order to improve our services. This is, and now the problems started to arise, because when you said, when your client, and we will explain this a little better then, but when your client, for example, did not answer your query, for example, that is a signal for us. Okay, they simply ignore our question of how good or not we are, and that creates.
Let me interrupt and say something, Juan. Here at Guyer, we have developed technology that allow us also to classify every one of our contacts, the ones we asked them the question of the NPS. So in a way, we are classifying them according to the previous answers on this question that we ask them every year. So now we are not only analyzing the responses of the client on the last questionnaire that we sent, but we are also studying the history of the client answering this question. So it's very interesting to know the evolution of every one of each contacts that have been answering the question, to see how is the relationship in a way evolving with us.
Yeah. So there is a dynamic effect that we track, not only as a firm, but also in terms of partners evaluations or professional evaluation. And let me just put a very simple example. Let's say that we ask a client that is managed by Neil and Luke, two partners that for different reasons they attend, I don't know, one, I don't know, at the corporate side and the other one regulatory side. So we ask the client, how would you recommend Guyen Regules from 0 to 10? And they put a 7 as a number. And then we ask them why. And he or she answer, well, I put 7 because I'm sorry, Luke, the service that Neil provides is great, but not the one from Luke. I don't have feeling with Luke. Luke never call me back or whatever it is. Okay, it's just an example. Okay, so that is probably something that we should consider, because it may be the case that the fit with that client is more probably to be handled by Neil and not by Luke. So that goes to another challenge within a firm, which is compensation of partner, which is not part of this presentation. But at the end of the day, it's important why we have the courage, let's say, as a firm, to ask these questions, because at the end there is no consequence, directed consequence or negative consequence for none of us. In fact, it's a problem for all of us, or it's an advantage for all of us. So what are the advantages? It is ease. It's very easy to answer to the question. It's very simplicity. It's quite easy to interpret and communicate. And it's comparable. Okay, we can compare these figures with another law firms of the firms, or even with other industries within, because this is an indicator which is not used only for law firms, it's used worldwide. You may probably seen those in airports, in bookshops, and whatever. Those are the, how you know, and you put if you're happy or unhappy or whatever. Okay, so let's go next. Your time, Maria.
Sí. The indicator, in order to calculate the indicator, clients are classified into 3 different categories according to their score. We have the promoters, that are those clients who answer with 9 or 10. They really are our fans. So these are the clients that we know that are going to recommend us to a friend or a colleague and won't change us for anyone else. Then we have the passive, that are those contacts who answer with 10 or 8 on the question. And these are contacts that think that we do things well, but they don't always recommend us. And then we have the detractors, that are those persons who answer with 0 from 0 to 6, sorry, and they are really unhappy clients, and we know that those clients probably won't recommend us if someone asks for a law firm. So the way to calculate the indicator is we have to take the promoters and the detractors. That's why it is the net promoter score. We have to do this simple
Maths.
account. Yes. So the NPS is the difference between the percentage of promoters minus the percentage of detractors. It's very simple to calculate. The NPS can range from less 100 to plus 100, and this is because we can have, for example, if I don't know, we ask the clients and they are all promoters, well, then we will have the plus 100. And this is a very interesting thing, that an NPS is considered world class if it is more than 70%. And this is a very interesting thing of the questionnaire that we asked the clients. I would say that is one of the most important part of the questionnaire, and it is we ask our clients why they rated us that way. And here is when we really have the information to help us to understand why they recommend us or not. And this also encourages us to take the action and continue to improve year by year. We have a methodology here at WLG that it's very strict, and when we hear of a client that is not happy with us, there's like a process where we go straight to the client, and the partner that is in contact with that client asks the client and talks to the client to understand and well to let him know that we are aware of the problem and that we want to improve. So this is very important.
Sorry, one comment on that. One of the main problems that lawyers normally have is ego. Okay, and that sometimes affects the ego of a partner. So the instructions is you should never call a client and say, why did you rate me with a 4? Okay, why you did so? I mean, I'm so good with you. Why you did so? No. That's clearly forbidden. First, thank you very much for providing your feedback. I'm calling you because we may probably made some mistakes. Let me just to understand why exactly is the experience that you're having, and if there is any way in which we can help you to provide you a better services. Once you make that connection with a client, in fact, with a human being, when you make that connection with a human being, you get to the point that the person feels that his opinion or her opinion is important, and then he's part of the problem in a way. So he said, or she said, as was explained before, that the problem for that client that we're making as an example, I'm sorry, Luke, again, was Luke. But Luke finally proved that he's probably because he was in a very complex year, and he called the client and he explained that he might be, that the client may have a point in saying this, and if we need to beg their pardon, that's humble. It's normally taken very deeply by the clients, and they would say, well, I received a call from Luke. I understand that Luke had some problems last year, but he promised me that that will not happen again. The problem is that that should not happen again, and that is Luke's responsibility. But if Luke made what should be made, okay, the next year, the highly probably scenario, because this is a dynamic positive effect for the future, is that they will, instead of saying 7, they will say, okay, now I am a 9. And the reason why I'm a 9 is because Luke attended my problem, and now I'm happy because of that. And then you need to keep that level. And that is going up and up and up. So that is the reason why it's dynamic and it's challenging. And of course, if Luke calls the client, promise something that then is not delivered, that is a huge problem, because instead of a 7, which will be a neutral people or a passive people, then they will put a 6 or a 4. And then we need to talk to Luke and say, look, what is going on? This is a client that we're about to lose. If you don't have any will to understand the problems of this client, to make some empathy with them, give Neil the chance to solve the problem. It's better for the firm. It's much better for the firm. I mean, maybe you are not now in a good position. Maybe it's a fit. It might be a problem of fit. Some clients need certain partners and others not. It's not a fail from Luke's side. It's just simply that we need to understand the clients that needs to be advised, let's say, for a specific or a particular person. Sorry, Maria, for the interruption,
Yes.
but yeah, go ahead, Neil.
Hey, Maria and Juan, we've looked at these kind of issues in the past in a firm, and personally, I think they're great. But let me ask you a question.
Yes.
More likely, the case would be with my client, I get a 7 and Luke gets a 9.
Mm-hmm.
But it is my relationship historically. We've had some issues with some partners saying, I'm gonna deal with I'll deal with this, but I don't want to give this client over to Luke. I'll manage this better, or I'll take care of it. How do you deal with that? Because we've had partners in the past say, I don't want you talking to my clients. I'll talk to my clients.
Well, the problem is that we at Guyer and Regules, we don't have partners, do not have particular clients. Clients are for the clients of the firm, and that is related with a remuneration system most probably. So that is I understand your point. The firms that do have a compensation system that in which partners said, this is my client, let's say, they may have problems in using that tool. But in fact, it's not a problem in using the tool. In fact, it's a problem in how to handle the clients, because the most probably scenario is that maybe, or it might be the case that you have a client, Neil, that is your clients or is your client. And maybe the reason why the client is let's say, let's put a good example, not a negative one. Okay, maybe it's, Neil is great. He handles perfectly the M&A, all my corporate side and whatever. But now I'm in the middle of an antitrust problem, and Neil is trying to handle this, but he's not an antitrust expert. I need an antitrust expert. And why I don't have an antitrust expert on the team, for example. So I agree with you that the problems may be difficult to handle, or more difficult to handle, if based on the remuneration system. So this is why, sorry Maria, this is why this is not a simple tool of business development. It's more deep, the values that are behind, and it's a pity that we don't have more people within the members, because this had been a great success for us in terms of loyalty, in terms of retention of clients, and we are really very, very proud. So this is why we would really want to share with our friends and other firms within the group.
And Juan Manuel, I just want to jump in really quickly. We have about 4 minutes left for you, and then I need to turn it over to Ashley for Lisbon, just because we are ending early today. But I do see that Jorge has a question.
Sí.
I do, yes, thank you. And hello, everybody. A very interesting presentation. Thank you, Juan Manuel, Maria. A couple of questions. One, do you have a system that makes this automatic? To send it out to all of the clients? That's the first one. And then the second one,
we could say semi-automatic.
Semi-automatic, but do you have a system that helps you to do this?
It's an internal system.
We
have developed an internal technology, we could say, but it was like developed internally. There's no software, I mean.
There's not. Okay.
No.
Because I may, perhaps we can reach out to you separately offline to discuss it with more detail, because I think it's a great idea to get the sense of your clients, and it's very friendly. The way you describe it is very friendly for them. So yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one very, very brief question. At what time of the year do you conduct this?
August.
Because I'm thinking of the deadline for submission for Legal 500 and Chamber.
Nacho. Now we are talking. This is the problem. Okay?
Yes.
We need to
yes.
pick
I mean,
very precise.
let me say that August is the date that we launched this question, but the process of actualization of the contacts and all of the things that we have to do previously to launch the question, we start doing all of that job. I mean, I think April, May, June, it depends, but we do all the work previously, and then in August we launch the question, and one of the reasons is because of the submissions.
Yeah. So let us give you a couple of more minutes so we can terminate. I probably believe that the discussion will be, well, this is just that a figure that shows that year after year we have been outperforming the numbers of respondents and responses and results.
Yes.
We are very, go ahead.
No, in the last 3 measurements, our NPS has been consistently more than 70%. I mean, world class. And this is a very shocking number, because if you see or look for the benchmarks on the industry, all of the benchmarks mark like 40%, and we are very above that benchmark. So it's very good for us. This means that we provide a service for the clients, and they perceive the service in this way: highly rated, unique, excellent, top-notch, and world-class. Juan.
Yeah, and then more. It's very interesting and very very interesting when the client answer the question why. We get very interesting answers. Not only the one that hurts, but in particular in the one that shows that the client are perceiving the kind of value that we try them to perceive from our side. And this is just a list of things, with values, human quality, technical rigor, caring human beings, they get involved. And there are more in the next slide. So I think a partner in business and not only as a service provider. Well, that obviously is part of our, this is why we yeah, it's part
yes,
of our,
an interesting
we're pretty
thing
proud
of this, yes, is that there's a trend on what the client says, and the trend marks that the client is it's evaluating each day more and more the fact that you have to be a partner with them or the business. They don't want to feel that the lawyers are in a way external to their company. They want to feel that that you are part of their firm. And also the other trend is the human quality, that it's growing each day on the answers that we get. Just interesting things.
Juan, Maria Eugenia, I'm really interested in knowing how you follow up on these matters after you get the feedback from the clients, and how you manage the relationship with your partners and with the clients. But I also think that we don't have sufficient time today to address this matter. What I may propose is that we continue in an informal discussion in the next BDC meeting, because I think we need more time to cover those matters, and I'm sure that many of our colleagues have questions of how to implement this Net Promoter Score. So I mean, if you agree, we can do that.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yes, of course.
Thanks a lot for the presentation. Let's continue discussing next BDC meeting. We will include it in the agenda, Hannah, if possible.
Perfect. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Ashley to talk a bit about Lisbon, about the program, and hopefully you all reviewed the items that we put on there regarding themes and topics that you can provide input on today.
Thanks, Hannah. So we do have a rough agenda for Lisbon, which is 7 weeks away at this point. So you may have noticed that the program has been slightly shortened. We're beginning on Thursday evening with dinner. Friday will be our educational series day. Saturday, we will have a keynote speaker and some group activities, and then a closing dinner on Saturday evening. So I had circulated a survey to this group and to the board probably about a month ago now. And based on the results that we got, these were some of the topics that people were most interested in hearing about, which is fantastic. However, we do need people to be able to speak on these topics. So this is where I'm looking for input from this group on who in their firm who would be attending or could attend Summit in Lisbon would be able to speak on some of these topics to give us a bit of direction. We have been reaching out to a few people based on our knowledge who we thought might be able to speak on it, but certainly want to leverage the examples that you have in your firms. So who wants to go first?
Anyone?
Oh, no, not from my side, from now.
Yeah, and for me, the real issue is that we can't get them to come to Lisbon. And I don't know that the time zones would work. So folks, the three of us that are coming, I mean, I don't think we'd have anything more to say than any other lawyers. The one or two people in our office that might be good are going to be in Chicago. So I think it might be easier for folks in Europe maybe to I don't know, to get someone to come, unless we can arrange video speaking, but that doesn't sound very convenient.
Yeah, we are limited in sort of in some of our technology capacity. And ideally, we wouldn't have video speakers just to keep the vibe of the conference.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
That's why the one person I have specifically in mind is, she's not perfect, but she'd have a lot of things to share because she was sort of our office leader and was really connected to everything, but she's just not going to be able to travel.
Of these topics, are there any that are particularly more interesting to anyone?
And so sorry for my question, but the topics are the ones that Hannah sent out yesterday in her email, right? The ones, yeah. Hot topics in business development.
I think that
they were in yesterday's email and the one I sent last week as well.
I think that the two topics that are commonplace in our meetings is one, the opportunities in emerging practice areas and industries, and the other one is recruitment and retention of talent. Particularly with respect to the second, it's a matter that now that we are going out of the pandemic, there are a lot of questions on how we will keep talent, how we will structure the new rules of the office, how many days we will be at the office. We will require our associates to be at the office. How's going to be? Meetings within the teams. How we provide feedback to our associates in the new environment. So I would say that those are the two topics that are commonplace in our discussions.
I would also go for recruitment and also for market competition. Where is it coming from? How are your clients becoming your competitors? Their own in-house counsel. So that's a topic that we're also reviewing a lot within our firm, market competition.
Is that something you'd be able to speak on, Jorge?
Yes, I can actually. Yes, yeah.
On the market competition?
On the market competition, where are we seeing it's coming from in Mexico? And yeah, we can do that.
I will definitely look into yesterday's email of Hannah. Didn't read it yet. I just wanted to start to read it in preparation of our meeting, which I expected to start at 3 o'clock our time. Unfortunately, then I saw Hannah's email. I don't know what went wrong, but this was the official calendar invite, which I've put into the agenda. But we'll come back with suggestions. But I've had another question regarding Lisbon. I really want to come. I'm not sure yet completely. How is the registration rate for Lisbon? Do a lot of people hesitate, or?
Our registration numbers are not where they would typically be at this point. There are 45 people registered.
Oh, so 45 is.
And how many people have showed interest? Because I know I just signed up, and I'm not even sure David or Jeremiah signed up. Do we have sort of a ballpark figure for what's?
Have a fair number of people telling us that they're going to sign up. They're just waiting on something. So that's great. I don't count anybody as registered until I've seen their credit card information or not their credit card information, but their money come through. So.
And I do
just
apologize.
A ballpark. Everyone said yes. Would it be? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Hannah.
No, I'm sorry. We can definitely share more details with you on Lisbon via email, but I do have to close out this meeting because we're starting a webinar. And unfortunately, it's on my account. But please take a look at that list that we sent out. And if you have any suggestions or comments or think you can speak on a topic, if you could email Ashley and let her know, that would be really helpful. And of course, as we get more details, we will share those with you.
Yeah, it is really important. I mean, I appreciate all the feedback from everyone on topics that they like to hear about. The challenge for us is often that the topics that you find most interesting, we also find most interesting, but we don't know who can talk about them. So give it some thought. Think about your colleagues in other World Law Group colleagues who you may have collaborated with or something. And